all of this is so interesting as to whether or not, indeed, NVIDIA gets access to China, whether we see a TikTok deal, whether we see continuing trade issues between US and China iron out. If we talk about chips in particular, what have you made of the ferocious focus on domestic supply chain resiliency coming from China?
Yeah, it's a great question, Caroline. And I agree with Maggie just now that the H200 is really going to be a boon for some of these Chinese AI companies. As we've seen over and over again, compute is really the bottleneck. But I want to go back to what you said about the TikTok deal. We heard the news a few days ago. It hasn't yet been finalized. And I think a lot of investors are going to be analyzing what is the structure of this deal. But what I think is more interesting is what appears to be the case is that ByteDance, the parent company that owns TikTok, is going to maintain control over TikTok's algorithm. This, of course, is the special sauce that makes TikTok what it is, that makes it so addictive and so special in the first place. And I just want to remind your audience that Beijing has never agreed to turn over control of this algorithm over to these U.S. investors. And that's really at the heart of the deal. So what you see is, as the Trump administration keeps trying to come up with some kind of a deal to end this TikTok saga and keep it in the United States, it keeps kind of lowering the bar on this deal with Beijing over TikTok to the point where now we're probably going to be settling on a deal where Beijing, through ByteDance, maintains control over this algorithm and this vector of influence over American discourse and what hundreds of millions of people are seeing on this app every day.
So, Liza, are you saying when the reporting is that they will be able to license the algorithm and then rebuild it, you don't think that they will be rebuilding? You don't think there will be some sort of retraining? We'll still be dependent on ByteDance's underlying algorithm?
Yeah, I mean, color me skeptical. They've been working on this, so-called security deal for quite some time. But the reason that the Congress, on a bipartisan basis, passed the law in the first place, and then the Supreme Court upheld it, was because they did not see it as viable for U.S. national security for a adversary-controlled company, ByteDance and TikTok, to be maintaining control of this algorithm. So I think they're going to be putting some kind of lipstick on the pig and some kind of security arrangement in place. But remember, going all the way back to 2020, Beijing put export controls on this algorithm. Those haven't gone away. Beijing has never budged in its stance. It's the U.S. side that has kind of lowered expectations over and over again. And the deal still isn't done yet.
Liza, very briefly, is national security at risk if that stands?
Yeah, we can make an analogy perhaps to the Cold War. It's almost as if, during the Cold War, we let the Soviets take control over some of our major newspapers. Or imagine today if Bloomberg TV were up for sale to the Russians or the Iranians. What's somewhat ironic is that last month, the Trump administration put out its national security strategy. Right. You can see it on the White House website. And it makes the point over and over again that foreign interference in U.S. media is a problem. And yet, here we are on the verge of this deal with TikTok, with Beijing maintaining control.